So can you? I just started the recording. I gotta get this for posterity. Can you ask that question one more time?
Yeah. I'm always wondering, is the wild hair on purpose to catch attention? I mean, it's
So,
awesome. I love it.
surprisingly, no. Actually, that's kind of how it's always been. I just have really really thick hair, and I had to prove it to my Twitch chat a few weeks ago. I did pull up some pictures from like 10, 11 years ago, but like this is how it looks. I'm like, my wife likes it that way, so that's just how it's gonna
Hmm.
be. So if it
It's great.
funds the lore, then okay, so be it. But yeah, that's kind of how it goes. So trust me, my
Awesome.
family makes fun of it just as much as Twitch chat does. So. Um,
I think it's
yeah,
great. I'm not making
I,
fun of it.
I
I think it's awesome.
appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. How you been? How's practice been? How's Tracer?
Uh, so it's well, good and bad.
Yep.
Okay, so I mean, as I told you last time, I have a well, she's 7 months old now,
Yeah.
and I've
Yeah.
been kind of trying to balance playing Overwatch with life because I find that if I dive too much into Overwatch, I start losing sleep and life starts to go downhill a little bit. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I, I'd say I really haven't played that much, but when I do play, I'm feeling better and I'm playing better, but I'm playing a lot less.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
still trying to find that balance. So that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, I'm playing a lot better though, which is
Good.
surprising.
Good.
It's
I
like a
hear
reset.
you hit plat as well.
Yeah, yep, yep.
Nice. That's incredible.
So yeah, and I mean right now I'm like winning like 80% of my games, but I haven't even played in like 2 weeks. But I
Yeah,
was gonna
it
play a lot this
happens.
weekend. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
it happens. Okay, so I guess just kind of like laying it out on the floor here. First
Hmm.
off, congrats on plat. That's huge, especially
Thank
given
you.
the circumstances with which you hit it. That's really good, and it's
Hmm.
also doing so on a character that's like really hard to pick up. So nice stuff.
Sure.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Obviously, like life catches up with you, and I think you kind of put it well, where it's like I want to play more,
Hmm.
but Tracer is not a, and Overwatch as a whole is not a character that's easy to play casually.
Yeah.
It
Hmm.
feels like there's just a certain level of demands that Overwatch always plays. It's not a coincidence on days where I have like a heavy workload, which is
Hmm.
most days, and I don't play Overwatch when I'm relaxing. Um,
Hmm.
I'll play Overwatch for like a reason for on stream, but by the time it's time to relax, if I'm going to play anything, it'll be a board game or I'll take a walk, or ironically, I'll
Yeah.
play something from FromSoft. I'll play like Sekiro or something, which is like considered hard, but compared to Overwatch, nothing's hard. you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
so I guess what I would say is that like I think that's probably fine to be in that headspace where Overwatch is just kind of like when I have the energy, when I have the time, it's okay. In
Hmm.
moderation, outside of that, it's just not as much because it demands a lot.
Yeah.
It demands a lot.
Yeah.
When I was improving to Grandmaster, it was my priority during the day. I
Hmm.
played it early morning, late afternoon, and then work evenings, right? So
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
I could give it more energy then. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's just going to be kind of like a week by week basis. But I guess what I would
Hmm.
try to do that may help you is I say week by week, but it actually might be better to go like, okay, for the next month, what am I likely going to be able to do time wise to Overwatch?
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
what should my expectations for practice be?
Right. Right.
Because you actually, like, you're not Grandmaster, but you have
Hmm.
reached some level of success with your practice. And the
Hmm.
worst thing would be going in with some expectations that you're going to continue to play at a top tier level and it's not going to happen. And then that's going to be very
Right.
disappointing, right?
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
I don't know. Just
Agreed.
kind of measure your expectations based off of what you're putting in. I know
Hmm.
like it's impressive that you've managed to keep yourself at a relatively decent level, but like
Hmm.
that is probably not going to be able to continue to move forward. So,
Right.
it's easier to
Right.
maintain skill than it is to improve, but just measure
Yeah.
your expectations.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get to a point where I can find some balance where I can put in some regular hours. It may not be,
Yeah.
4 hours a day, but if I can put in, 2 hour, 3 hour sessions
Yeah.
2 or 3
Yeah.
times a week. But
That's
at
okay.
this
That's okay.
moment, I
Yeah.
haven't found that
Yeah,
yet.
and that's fine.
So,
That's just not a priority for you obviously right now. So, I mean, it makes
yeah.
total sense. So,
Yeah.
okay, little bit of advice maybe here is like
Hmm.
if you do feel like playing Overwatch, it may,
Hmm.
but you just don't know that you have the mental capacity to like actually give it effort. Maybe
Hmm.
worth learning another hero, and
Yeah.
maybe worth picking up a different role just for
Hmm.
casual fun.
Yeah.
Is it going to
Hmm.
make you a better Tracer player? No, but I do
Right.
think it can be annoying to feel like Overwatch is a practice only game. Like
Mhm.
that seems a little bit,
I understand what you're saying.
nitpicky, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's funny because I think one of my biggest problems playing is even when I was putting in 10 to 16 hours a week. Of course, I was staying up late, sleeping very little, etc. Because I love the game. I get obsessed
yeah,
with it. But my expectation became very high, and I just was making dumb decisions because I was just trying to push myself too far. And then when I
yeah,
take time off and I come back and I'm just playing for fun, I think more clearly. I'm making smarter decisions that aren't too risky, and I play better. I really
yeah,
do. It's really weird. So the
yeah.
skill, like in terms of aim and movement, doesn't really go away for me. It's more of the decision making that gets better if I just relax.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
yeah,
weird. It's
yeah,
like an
yeah.
opposite effect. Like less practice is almost better for me. I know that sounds weird, but so
No,
far
no,
that's worked for me.
I mean, I hate to take the magic out of it, but that's pretty normal. There's just a
Hmm.
lot less expectation on yourself, so you're able to
Yeah.
perform with a lot less pressure, and so therefore, like if we follow the flow curve here, where do people
Hmm.
perform and play optimally? It's like right at that skill level, right? So you're not pushing yourself too hard, but
Hmm.
because you haven't played in a while, you are excited to play. You are engaged,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So you're
Hmm.
not try-harding, but you are engaged. And honestly, that's perfect.
Yep.
That's exactly
Yeah.
where you want to be. And a lot of our
Right.
life is like trying to find that. So yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
that's totally fine. Like, I don't think it's a
Hmm.
big deal. I have no suggestions for playtime unless because, you have your own set of limitations. So you're just going to have to
Yeah.
find through trial and error what works better. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, any questions since our last session? I mean, there was a lot of feedback, some notes and stuff like
Hmm.
that, but
Hmm.
any questions?
No, I remember our last session was a lot of trying to have impact, even if I'm not getting kills, because I was just kind of hanging out in the back line, but I wasn't really distracting or doing anything effective. So, I took that to heart. And I think, of course, I pull up gameplay to show you that where I struggle, not the games where I'm winning and dominating. Um, but I'm at a point now, well, I mean, from 2 weeks ago, there's gameplay from 2 weeks ago, but um, where I'm going to show you games that I lost where I almost feel like in ways my team let me down, but of
Yep.
course there's more that I could maybe do better or read the
Yeah.
situation better.
Yeah.
One thing that I really find is that between fights on point, if we have a man advantage, even as one person advantage, I want to clear the rest of their team so that they all have to respawn and come back.
I know where this is going.
But then my
I,
team backs away and I'm the only one there and then I die.
Yeah, that's a classic. I had one of my most frustrating moments that I think I've ever had in a ranked game on stream, which always is me hollering and yelling. It was Circuit Royale first point defense, and I was playing in probably like low diamond because I hadn't played tank in a while. So I was playing Sigma.
Mhm.
We killed two members of the enemy team. So I walk
Mhm.
forward. Now I'm not
Mhm.
in their spawn. Let me be very clear. I'm at the
Yeah.
end of first point defense. You know where
Yeah.
the point caps.
Yep.
So I'm
Mhm.
walking forward. They're all low.
Mhm.
My supports and damage do not move. This is
Right.
not gold. This is not
Mhm.
plat. This is diamond. They don't
Yeah.
move. So I walk
Yeah.
forward, I poke, I get them low, I turn around. I'm not even like, wait, I'm the next corner. There's
Mhm.
nobody healing me, nobody
Mhm.
damaging, and I die.
Yeah. And it
Like
throws
I
the next
was
fight then,
losing it.
right?
I was so frustrated. I was like, guys, this isn't even one. This is. Are you joking? Do you have your monitors turned on? So that's definitely a
Mhm.
pet peeve of mine, and I get the frustration.
Mhm.
But it is like it's not. It's one of those moments where you're not really playing differently at different
Mhm.
ranks. But the rule is always you have to fight with your team. And
Yes.
at higher ranks, you can put more expectations off of them doing the reasonable thing. But
Mhm.
obviously, that's not always the case.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Yeah, sounds good. So, I guess what I'll do is I'll send you the VOD for
sure.
it's actually that gameplay. I get flamed at the end of the match by my tank because I did have a lot of deaths. Some of them were unfortunate, just they just happened. Some of them were my fault, but let's see what you think.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's at least how I feel about them.
Yep. Let's get this pulled up here.
Hmm.
I'm going to try to remember to get this sorted here because I've kind of gotten out of the practice. I'm trying to get back in the practice of using Facecam for some of these. So the last 2 reviews, I forgot to pivot over to gameplay. So I'm just yapping at my blank screen for like 10 minutes on the recording before I realize that, oh, I need to change scene here. So I remembered this time. This looks like could be a tricky comp to play Tracer into. I'm looking at this and I'm not loving this. Good luck. Tracer's really good on this map, but Junkrat, Illari, Torb. At least it's a good map. It's a great map for Tracer, though. Very broad.
It's one of my favorite maps for Tracer, actually.
Yeah. It's really good. What is? Can you explain to me what this skin is for me, just real quick? Just is there like a? Remember when you were asking me about my hair at the start? Like, is this a self-aware joke here? Like, well, what's going on here?
No, actually, I have very similar hair to you. So
I see.
No, I usually pick skins based on I like the guns here. I don't know.
Yeah. See, that's fair enough. You see, I honestly never look at the guns. I probably should, but because it's the only part of the skin you really look at, which I guess makes sense. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. Any questions, strategy concerns, whatever before we get rolling here? You talked about like pushing up ahead of your team and so on. Some dumb deaths.
Not really. I actually start off pretty good, and then I kind of get into a rut for a little bit.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good. Let's take a look here. Angle good. Deeper flank for sure, but it's fine. This comp has like no mobility, so as long as you maintain. A little greedy there with that lack of blink there, so I got a little close, but that's okay. Just break pylon first and just kind of chill. You've already basically won this fight, so.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, this is fine. This is pretty deep flank, but again, there was nobody on that angle, so why not? Okay. I mean, yeah.
I don't know how I died there, but
Lucio just smoked you. Illari also got a pop on you, and so yeah, whatever. Okay, fine start. They go Cassidy. This is Cassidy, Torbjorn, wow.
See, I didn't notice at this point that they had Cassidy.
Yeah.
And I get screwed pretty quick. Maybe my flanks are too deep. I don't know.
I don't think so. Like, the fight is happening here, you know? So either you can do this here and shoot the tank, which would have been fine, but you can't get there because you were already here, you know? So, like, you had really no choice but to do what you did, right? Like, you chose left lane. This is really the only short-range off angle on the left lane right now, so...
Yeah. I feel like if I was on the right, I'm on the front line, almost. I'm not behind them.
Yeah, but you don't have to be behind them. You just have to be on the side, right?
Right.
So if you shoot tank here, it's like, yeah, it's not as good as a Reaper Junkrat, but it's still really, really, really good. Don't worry about target priority with Tracer. Worry about the position. Short range off angle. Right. This is fine, right? But you were on the left, and so there's no way that you can get there. So this was also fine. Like you chose left, nobody's here, so you go for a flank. That's fine. As long as you play cover and use your recall well, which you do. I mean, this is a lot of resources being... I mean, look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 people looking at you, which is why Winston dies. And you don't die because you played cover well and you used your blinks well, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's like 0 damage almost, but you're still winning the fight because of your position. I'm zooming through this because there's nothing really to say outside of good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, the position itself is fine. The aim is fine. There hasn't been as much blink usage needed right now because nobody's really pushing you. But this is where, like, this is case in point, like, where the blink is going to kill you. Now, you're like, oh, I didn't know they were on Cassidy. But
I had no idea.
But it's actually more complicated than that. So, like, right here, this is just a necessary... You need to blink this, regardless of whether on Cassidy or not, right? Because you're kind of looking directly at this Lucio, and you need to be able to use your blinks to win the duel, right? Whether that's blinking through him or blinking to the side, right? And so it's not like an egregious error. It is mostly, oh, they're on Cassidy, I didn't know. But it is also kind of like, okay, you died because you didn't blink.
Yeah, sure.
It's fine. This is too far, so you need to rotate, and you do. And then you blink, you pulse, you recall out, he rolls, he dies, and oh, that sucks. Yeah. Okay, so this can I be honest with you? This is so close to greatness, like so close. This is too far.
Yeah.
So then you recognize it. Okay, I need to rotate. So you rotate. You go, okay, Cassidy, shoot, blink, pulse bomb, nice little flick there. Recall back because you don't have any more blinks, so otherwise you die.
Exactly.
He rolls the pulse, which is annoying, but it's still, like, you're still going to win the duel because of it.
Sure,
you shoot, and then you don't blink here because he's so low that you think you can finish him off without using a blink.
I do. Yep.
And to be fair to you, he's I think 15 HP, 18 HP, right? So yeah, happens, right? Either blink this or aim better by 2%. It's okay.
Yes.
This feels like an earned death, you know, as in like, the margin of error was so small, right?
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's how it felt to me too.
Yeah, it happens.
But I have died 4 times in the first fight already.
3 times, I think.
3?
But yeah. I still think, like, I agree with you. The first one was unnecessary. You just reacted to the recall too slowly. The second one was you should have blinked. The third one was you should have aimed better or should have blinked again. We'll keep the pattern going. But I'm not overly concerned about any of those deaths for what level of error we're expecting from a Platinum player just yet.
Sure.
But that may change.
Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier, where I think we have an advantage. And yeah, they have 2 people down. We have 1 down. And these people are kind of low, so I want to take advantage of it.
Sure.
I also lose track of Cass here.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's put it this way. Like, if you were to push this, you would still need to play respectfully because you're down your recall. So I don't hate this, but, like, there are 2 people on you. And this is kind of like the main point here. You lost track of Cassidy, didn't realize it was a 2v1, and then got hindered. If your team had pushed here, could they have helped the situation? Maybe. But I still think you die.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Without a recall.
Like, right, without a recall, like, it's not that you need to AFK, but, like, I don't know. I mean, I think their decision to go to point here is also fine, too, because if you're down 1, like, or up 1, you can just immediately rotate to point. I mean, there's 10 seconds left and get first cap and then set up as well, right? So, like, I don't know. This one's tricky for me. I'm more concerned about the fact that we lost track that it was a 2v1. We lost track of no recall and how we should approach that. That's it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have died there. You shouldn't have gotten the kill, but you shouldn't have died.
Right. I hate downtime, so I'm like,
I do
need
too.
To shoot from cover. You know?
Right. Well, I do too, but that's not what you did, right? Like, you didn't shoot from cover. You know, you went in the middle of them. You know, again, just one of those unnecessary deaths. Would you win this fight, or yes or no? No. Maybe your plan was just to die and point and get a trade. Sure.
Yeah, I was hoping that my team was there and that it wouldn't end up being a 2v1 on me, that I could come. But that's what it became. Yeah, that's where I was saying, like, sometimes I'm over eager to make plays happen and make dumb decisions. I think that's my biggest problem playing as Tracer.
Okay. Why do you think that's the case? Like, what, and when you talk about, like, being over eager, what does that reflect in? What sort of mistake does that reflect in? Like, what happens?
So there, for example, I get the cast down to maybe 25% health, and he starts kind of rolling forward, and I'm thinking, I want to finish him off. I mean, I'm mobile. I should be able to do that. And so I round the corner, and all of a sudden I get hindered, and there's 2 people looking at me.
So what should you have done differently here?
Maybe not chased him, and just kind of stayed on the angle and shot into the point instead of entering the point.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, you kind of pincered yourself a little bit. The other thing that's worth pointing out is that you died with 2 blinks. I believe at least 1 blink. Right?
Yeah.
So if you are going to chase, what do you need to do?
Blink more. But only thing I'd have to say is right there, Torb had ulted on point with all the lava, so it was hard for me to move around much.
Sure, but that's a DOT. Hinder is a boom.
Yeah.
Hinder's a DOA, right? You get what I'm saying? So, like, your choice.
Yeah, sure.
Angle's fine.
Kind of just waiting for my team at this moment.
Yep, it's fine. Good. Sure. I mean, this definitely feels like the closest thing you could do here. You could maybe angle and shoot the Cassidy Winston bubble, but doesn't feel very close. Feels awkward. This feels good.
Yeah.
Nice. And this is where it's like, the way that you approach fights post-recall is very important. So this is huge. Recall probably feels earned. You still have 3 blinks. So you shouldn't AFK, but how you approach this fight should be respectful.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now, how would that look here?
keeping my distance rather than being super close. Been playing cover.
Well, that the last one's the more important one because keeping your distance, that's not going to help you versus Yudari. She's just, cause she's, if anything, it's going to make you less effective and her more effective, right? So I actually prefer what you do now. But yeah, the key thing is just kind of playing bait, play cover. Oh no, Yudari's she could hit a shot at me, so I need to blink out towards cover somewhere I can live. And you can see it right now. It's like, there's nowhere for me to go. I'm dead, right? That panic, right? So how you approach this, blink, shoot a low, blink, shoot a low. She starts with you, blink out here, harass, blink, maybe shoot from here, right? Just a little bit more. You said you hate uptime, or hate downtime rather. Yeah,
I do.
Me too. I do too. But the quality, the aggressive behavior of that uptime needs to look differently depending on the status of your CDs, specifically Winston and Recall.
I see.
So this has been fine, but it could have gone much worse.
I think I panic a little bit, so my aim gets a little worse.
I saw that, yeah. But it's also worth pointing out why you were panicked, right? And it's how you behaved post-recall. That put you in a really ugly, scary spot, which then reflected badly in your mechanics.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just setting up here.
Pylon's been pretty free. Yep. So you can be confident here. I like our blinks here. Good. I mean, yeah, sure. You know, you were patient. You had her. You approached from a good angle that allowed you to get close to her. And then now, this is where we're going to hate uptime again. Or downtime, rather. And that's fine. But we're not really at a risk of dying here. So we can just kind of move around and then... Oh! By the time we're actually under risk, we have a recall again.
Except half my team died for...
Yeah, it happens.
No
this is one of those moments. Well, there was a reason for that. The High Noon got value, and then your Echo messed up her ultimate, and you're actually here to clean up the mess. So there's still a chance.
This is where I panic again.
Yeah, the pulse needed hit.
I'm just trying to hold on.
Yeah,
They're at 99.
Yeah. There's actually a really good chance that you guys win this if your team hits a shot. Yeah, we're okay. Juno ult, maybe?
Yeah,
maybe?
My whole team was dead. I was pretty much the only one there.
Yeah, I feel like this fight's very winnable here.
I agree. You'll see what happens.
Do you guys
but
see
I
nine
agree.
it?
Huh?
Do you guys see nine it?
Somehow my team does.
You do. Yeah.
I'm there. I killed 2 people, and I'm like, what?
So
what?
that fight, did you go next? I think you played well that fight. You played well around your resources. You didn't, after the EDR kill, you didn't go in and just int. So it was good. What's going on here? I gotta know.
I was asking what happened. There was no flaming, nothing. I was just like...
Just the passive-aggressive question. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
Listen, glass houses and stones is all I'm going to say.
There was no flaming. I was confused. I know I wasn't on point, but I saw the other 2 guys there. I was like, what? You know what happened? What's his name? Our tank, he did his ult, and he went up high.
Yeah. He went up, yeah.
And we lost the point.
The hitbox of a lot of these points is really inconsistent. So it could be really, there's like, if you've actually ever looked up like drawings of like what's point and what's not touching point, it's really strange sometimes. Sometimes they're low, sometimes they're high. There's even points that cap faster than others. Like, I don't know if you remember or how familiar you are with Eichenwald first point, right? Caps almost instantly. So it's really hard to recontest that, but others are slower, so yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So there's just inconsistency. This is fine.
This is where things get a little tricky for me as Tracer taking down the turrets.
Well, it's fine. The major problem here is how difficult it is to close the distance here, right? So this recall is fine. Hold the angle. You don't have recall, so just keep applying pressure, but do so cautiously. I would just shoot bubble here.
Okay. See, I got 2 turrets I'm trying to take down constantly.
Yep, this is fine. Yep, this is fine.
I heard.
Yeah, I don't think this is too shabby. Like your approach is okay.
But I'm getting nothing done.
Well, you got lots done. You broke pylon. You helped break turret. You distracted Idari. Then you pulled. You could have shot bubble a little bit more. You pulled Winston's attention. Like your team just got picked. Random crap. It happens. The staging is fine. There's overload.
I get owned.
And this is these are the deaths that are going to cost you games. We can look at, and we can wink at a lot of the earlier deaths, like, oh no, it was a little bit unlucky, or you lost a little track.
Yeah.
This is really bad.
Right.
You forced overload. You forced Torb to run at you. You've also distracted. Let's see if you get a little bit of distraction there. Yeah, you got some attention from the Cassidy as well. If you blink this and play your life and then take the engagement from the Torb here and then harass from here, your team's going to be in a really good spot to win this fight, right?
Right.
They needed you here. I mean, look at this. Imagine all this with the Trace in the back line, you know? Like, you would force everything from them. Yeah, maybe you lose, but you blow the entire ult blank. You just died to random crap.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
let's go back and look.
on that one.
Let's go back and look why.
He hasn't hit me yet. So he hits me right around the corner, and then I blink left, and then he hits me again.
Yeah. I mean, part of it's just a good shot, frankly, right?
Yeah. He did get a good shot on me, but I could have blinked earlier, faster.
You know, that happens. You know, it happens. So maybe it's not worth crying about too much, but that does feel a little unearned.
It feels terrible.
It feels terrible, right? Yep, sure.
I just trying to touch point. They're
Sure.
at 99. But I know I don't really have much of a chance here. Yeah.
It happens.
Not when I would have normally used it, but it was a
Happens.
Hail Mary.
Yeah, happens. Let's keep going.
I actually switched to Soldier. I don't even know
I
if
don't
you
think
wanna
this is
watch
a
it or
bad
not.
swap. I think like looking at their composition, this is about as unfriendly of a Tracer comp as you're going to get. You have multiple pylons and turrets, Torb, Cassidy, etc. Soldier is actually a fairly decent swap versus this, especially if you can keep your distance. I won't watch a whole lot here, and this is actually a pretty decent Soldier point. You have like some really nice range damage here, as long as you actually kill something.
I'm trying to get the turret.
Yeah.
My aim's not great here, but
Yeah, it happens, and you got a little close. Okay. I want to move ahead in the next replay code if you have one.
yeah, yep. I can pull. I can. I just have to go in and grab it real quick.
Let's do that. And then when you do that, we'll kind of not recap exactly, but just maybe give a couple of points or some
Summarize.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not.
But the difference
Super
between
complicated.
this and what we looked at last time. Last time I was in the back line, not making much of an impact, and I kept getting pushed out of positions. So I feel like this is hopefully some sort of improvement from that. Because
I mean, you're
actually
plat.
doing something.
And it looks
Yeah,
plat.
true.
For better or worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure. I don't always look at the ranking as everything. I
No,
feel like
it-
I could be mid plat, but I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just me.
Well, you got to look at it as like it's where I'm at right now, right? So,
Yeah.
I think movement-wise, you clearly have been putting in some practice with how you're blinking. I think you're tracking, and your setups look better.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Some things that could be done a little better, or at least let's put it this way: not some things that we know for sure you suck at, but some things that we're going to be looking at a little bit more carefully in the next 9 minutes. What do you think?
Decisions on what I do after I use my recall, in terms of how aggressive I am getting into fights and.
We'll keep an eye on that. What else?
Using my blinks in fights to make people miss more, since
Yeah,
apparently
it wasn't bad, but maybe it's something that can continue to be better, which, of course, it can always be better, but we'll see if it's an actual weakness or not. Okay. I think that's a good starting point right now. Let's take a look here. Any questions?
I do, yeah, and maybe you don't know yet, but I know you're pretty close with the devs. I'm afraid they're about them taking away the triple blink after recall. Do you know what
It's
they're
going to be
gonna
nerfed.
make it?
No, I
so
don't.
what is it gonna be?
I think it will probably be either one or two. When I was in LA, I said single would be good enough because a full extra blink charge would still be good enough. So I don't know, but two would still be a significant nerf. So you'll have to wait and see.
I think that it's given me a lot of confidence to stay in these fights, and so it's going to be a huge subconscious adjustment. You know?
True, but it's only going to be a subconscious adjustment late in games.
Yeah, true.
So, you play probably most of the game without that perk, if we look at it from like a percentage standpoint. So, it will be a little bit of an adjustment for sure. So, I'm hoping more for Torb nerfs more so than anything else. I think the character's been overperforming a great deal, considering the amount of effort that he takes. So, we'll have to wait and see. That would make your life easier, indirectly.
Gotcha.
Anything else?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay, we'll see. Rotation's fine. It's definitely a deeper rotation, but it's fine. And you just need to have faith in yourself here. So like right now you're like, oh no, if stuff's happening, that's fine. You committed to here. So you got a choice. You either fight here, or you fight here. Which do you think makes the most sense with where you've rotated to right now?
I might, start shooting at their tank and the Reaper.
Yeah, exactly. You're here. Don't go back. Just stay here. Yeah, this is fine.
Kind of baiting the tank towards me.
Yeah, it's fine. So I don't mind this as much. So you're kind of like, I see an opportunity, but there's also like a world here where like you're here. You don't need to chase this Reaper unless you really think you want to. I mean, you could sit here and off angle on this Rein. You could off angle on the Moira. You could off angle on the Tracer. Again, what I'm noticing here is like when you choose a lane, it's not that you're not allowed to swap sides. Do you see what I'm talking about? It's just that there's just generally less motivation to. The reason is because it puts you at a moment of vulnerability right here where you're in between people. But the other reason is that it costs you blinks. And so when you get to here, you are not able to rotate or duel as effectively as you would otherwise.
Right. So what I'm looking at, I'm not arguing with you, but I just want your perception on this.
Finish your thought.
I can sense that, that Ana is somewhere in the distance healing the Rein. So I don't want to just shoot at the Rein and let him just get pocketed from a distance. So that's why I move away from him. I bait him in, but then I just kind of dodge him and move on. I know. Like if you're on that angle, just shoot what's in front of you. But I don't know if I'd get as much of an effect as maybe going for a squishy that's not too far away. So that's why I'm looking for a different opportunity.
That's true. What I want you to think about is, is there a better position to shoot the Reinhardt here, or shoot the Tracer, or shoot the Moira, from where you're at? Like from the right lane here on our screen, where could you rotate to? We'll address the Rein pocketed thing in a second, but first let's focus on cleaning this up a little bit.
I mean, I guess I could kind of help out. I don't know exactly where. I could go inside where no one could see me and kind of shoot the Rein, or from the door there. I could be there, but I think that Ana could shoot at me if I'm just standing there outside of the point.
She could. Yeah. So it's really
I
your
don't know
choice
exactly where the Moira is. And I know the Tracer's kind of nearby.
That's the thing, is you don't need to know. You're still looking at this like you're bounty hunting for people. That's the wrong approach. You need to think, I need to take the position and then listen and look. There will be somebody here. If there's not, then I will go flank and kill them, or I will turn on the Reinhardt. When you set yourself up on a good lane, you will find something, right? Think about first point attack on New Junk City, last map. There was nobody there. Remember? So what did you do? You go kill the Junkrat in the backline, right?
Right.
Maps aren't that big where you have to think about, where are they? So then I'll dictate my angle accordingly. Generally, you can just pretty much blindly roll out on a good angle, a good lane. If nobody's there, just keep going. You'll run into somebody.
Gotcha.
You'll run into somebody. And this is case in point. Like you rotated here without any knowledge about where they were going to go. Turns out, this is really good. It's a really nice angle to. In fact, there's nobody even here. Forces a ton of resources, right? That's exactly what we want. Now, to address your point about pocketed tank, 2v1. That's a good trade.
Sure. Yeah.
If Ana is not allowed to do anything but pass to pocket Rein, by the way, a character that can't touch you, so it's a 2v1 that you can keep going for an extended period of time, right? Then that's perfect.
Right. That makes sense.
That's perfect. You're not a whack-a-mole. Your job is just simply to apply pressure and to take more resources than you need, and then can continue to do so. If this Reaper did not have Wraith, then I would forgive this a little bit more. Why?
Because I could kill him.
Because you could kill him, right? So you're cheating the system to go for opportunities. That's the nice thing about mobility. But there's a real question about whether this was worth you rotating all the way across. You see what I'm saying? Because it's what you're allowing to happen and not just what you're doing.
I see. Yeah.
The game is always an opportunity cost. Yeah, it's always an opportunity cost. But look at the space that you guys have lost as a result.
I agree.
So they might get first cap. Your Doom might get isolated. Your backline might be vulnerable to stuff from above. You might not.
See, that Ana's driving me crazy.
Do you feel like, how on earth is this feeling so hard? We're up one. You've lost point and you're losing the fight. Goes back to what happened. Is exactly what we just talked about.
Yep. I agree.
Overwatch is not a strictly man versus man matchup. It's resources versus resources, and this is why.
On this specific map,
this is a Tracer ugly off
something-
right now.
yeah, but on this specific map, I was right. Yeah, they're both idiots. But I felt frustration because it was. I mean, obviously, I haven't tried yet, but that Ana is keeping their whole team alive. Ana has no pressure on her, and so. But for me to get to her, I have to go all the way around, spend so many resources and time to get there, and it's frustrating. So I wish one of my teammates would have taken the lead on that.
If only you had a dive
especially
tank.
My Doom? My Doom? Yeah, I know, right? So I don't have to do it, but
I mean, I get it, but again, you're trying to assess Overwatch like it's a series of problems that have to be solved. It's not.
Yes.
It's a series of pressure points, right? So it's like, yes, the Ana is way better than either your supports with the position that she has right now, but if it's not a pressure point that you are designated or in a good position to deal with, then you just can't deal with it.
Yeah. I mean, I could go up there, but I feel like half my team would be dead by the time I get there.
Yeah. So it's only something that you can deal with when you have the time to do so. You don't have the time to do so. You have not had the time to do so. You can't worry about it.
Right.
You know?
Makes sense.
So, no, I think Tracer's like, she's like a toolbox, right? There's a lot of things that you can deal with, but if it takes you 7 hours to whip out the jackhammer, then maybe you should just screw, or maybe you should just hammer. Because like right now, it's like, killing the Ana would have been nice, but so is forcing the Ana to do nothing on the high ground but pocket the Rein, right? No nade, no damage, no nothing, right? As soon as the Ana's not under pressure, then she is able to really leverage the offensive potential, right? So even going back to what you can do from that angle, well, if you take a better resource trade elsewhere, then that Ana might not be able to utilize the position as well as she'd like, right? So
gotcha. Makes sense.
I mean, I think mechanically here, this has been fine. You've chased kills, you've played around, but you're still trying to be a problem solver instead of just apply pressure. The real challenge is when you have the choice to set up. Like, for example, do you want to take this angle or do you want to take this angle? Well, that's where creativity can kind of come in. It's not that this is a cookie cutter game. You're not allowed any creative expression whatsoever. It's just once you've made your choice, you have to stick with that choice.
Right. Yep.
So now you are thinking Ana.
Yes, I am.
And you know what? Sure.
Now my monkey's up there, so I decide.
So you bail.
Change my mind.
But that's okay. That's okay because you still have things that you can do on this angle. That's a nice thing about map design, right? Like, I guess I'm going to shoot Tracer now. So I'm going to win this Tracer duel. There's her recall. Now she can't play as aggressively. I can fight her confidently. Ana's now looking at me. This is a 2v1. So this is your mistake here. You're forcing the Mega a little bit too much when you need to be prioritizing cover. But let's look at this from a flow chart. You're going to love this. Okay, so look at Tracer. Who's not under pressure because of the Tracer's position right now? Who on your team is safe?
My Iliari.
Yeah. And your Mercy, too, as she comes out of spawn. I don't know what she was doing, but okay. She's out of spawn. So this makes things so much easier for both your Winston, your Iliari, your Mercy, this entire lane. Everything's on their screen. You see that? There's no surprises. Thank you, Junkrat. Thank you, Tracer. Good job, guys. DPS taking space. Well done, everybody. You continue that pressure. You do not let Iliari. Now look at the Ana. Is there a threat of an anti-nade or sleep dart or damage onto your backline or your tank right now? Not really, right?
Right.
You're able to hold 2 resources. This, again, is simplifying what your team has to think about, and this is due to your efforts. You're doing so on an angle that makes sense for Tracer, and this is high value. This is just where things get kind of silly from you. Where once you see this, recall, what's your priority right now? Live, find cover, right? And I think that you are prioritizing on living. You're like, I'm going to blink through her and grab the Mega, but my goodness gracious, that felt really silly.
It did.
That being said, even though it's executed poorly, you just set up this dive basically by yourself. Oh my goodness gracious. And see, this is, again, you're trying to be a problem solver. Stop doing this. Because you're no recall, right? What should you do?
Yeah. Just take cover and play safe.
Take cover, play safe, find an angle, do some pressure right now. Like let's win the fight here. Fight the Tracer, play cover, punish the Reaper post Wraith. Ironically, that's the play now because you're actually here, right? Shoot the Rein. What's your immediate reaction? Point! I gotta get a point, I gotta cap point, we're up when we gotta cap point. No, 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 no. Yes, kind
Yeah.
of, sort of, no. But like, you don't like. It costs you things to do this. You're not, and you're
Right.
also not here. You were over here, so you need to deal with what's over here first, right?
Sure.
And so now the irony is that you're dealing with point, but if this Moira has 2 brain cells, which most of them don't, there's really no real chance for you to beat this Moira out, right? You're very fortunate that your Winston came to follow, but then because the Winston comes to follow and say, I mean, he makes the same mistake you do, right? Win the fight, punish the Reaper, punish the Tracer.
Yeah.
What does he do? He panics. Let's go to point. Oh, I gotta go, right? And then he ends up dying for it. And so we're now in the exact same situation as first fight, where you make a pretty good first fight, but you're so intent on immediately pushing your advantage and capping point or winning the fight instead of just patiently leveraging it, committing on what you've started, that you actually have now lost a 1 fight for the 2nd time in a row.
Gotcha.
You notice that?
Yes.
So I'm glad we picked this VOD, because this is a really, really, really important point here. You start really well, you apply some decent pressure, and then you feel the need to immediately capitalize off of that pressure now, instead of just continuing to squeeze, continuing to constrict. All right?
At this point, I'm just trying to hold.
Yeah, I understand.
Points are at, like,
I understand.
97.
I understand. Okay.
But I understand what you're saying too.
Okay, we've got Taxa here. That's good. All right, so we've played on right. So now right is where we play. Now, you might be thinking, oh no, they're on point. Oh no, we're down 1. I have to make something happen. No. Trust the process. It costs them something for the Junkrat to die, most likely. Let's watch. Okay, Ryan used his pen. Ryan is no longer in a position to shatter anybody directly, and there's no quote-unquote peel for backline right now. So there's a real opportunity here for you to kill this Tracer. Why? Because she's getting no help. So, let's see. Maybe we'll lose point. Maybe that's okay. Maybe that's the price of us winning this fight. I mean, ironically here, we kind of have to take risks. You just got outplayed, honestly. By the way, check out her face.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, let's see what could have been done better here mechanically.
Aim. For
You got the
sure.
mini. Aim.
I'm playing around it.
This needs to be a blink here, because where's her crosshair? Where's your crosshair? Make her move, right? The advantage of blink is that she doesn't know it's coming, right? So you get your recall force because lack of blink. So then she steals the next mini. She honestly kind of outblinks you. I actually think that's the biggest thing here. She just kind of outblinks you. Yeah. She does it again. What is this skin? The skin is just cursed. Okay, yeah. So just more blinks in Tracer duels, not just Cassidy duels, right? It's actually just as important for Tracer duels. Okay. Any questions?
No, that all makes sense.
Okay.
I've been feeling pretty confident in my Tracer duels. I just lost that one. She beat me.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's see
My
which...
team gets rolled. Absolutely rolled.
Okay, we're going to choose left, so you're going to commit left. I like left. This is good. It's a good angle for you.
I always do this. I saw Surefour, or no, not Surefour. God, what's his name?
Sugar free?
Yeah, Sugar Free. He plays this position a lot. I think so.
Yep. He's probably one of the best, top 2 or 3 Western Tracers right now. Maybe the top 2.
Yeah,
Maybe the top 1, honestly, right now.
I love watching him.
Yeah, he's great. This is great. Like, this is really uncomfortable. I mean, look at this backline between you and the Winston. You've kind of stuffed them here. So this is where you make your first mistake. You notice it? I know it's tempting, but you're like, I gotta push. I gotta get this Roadhog out. No, this is your space. You're only pushing here if there's nothing on your side. Is there nothing on your side?
No, there's the whole team to my left.
The whole team, right? Now, you can't be expected to hold these single-handedly and kill them, but you could isolate this enough that maybe you get a trade, maybe you get a punish, maybe you at least slow the hemorrhage and create an opportunity for your Junkrat to get a pick too. But this here, no. Now, if you had started here, this would have been fine. But now, this is your responsibility. And remember, it cost you blinks in time to get here. Now you're in the open. Now you're missing resources. And now, okay, so now this is your job. Can you live? This is okay. Not the best use of blinks here and recall. This probably needs to be more around playing around here and then playing around here. because there's more cover than here, rather than the trail of
This
tears
long
down
hallway.
here. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's okay. But the big problem was that initial rotation, which cost you quality of uptime and put
Yeah.
you in the open.
This Tracer's terrorizing my team, so I'm trying to push him out.
Well, she's on the way, so sure.
Yeah.
You're here, so yeah. Which is why it goes relatively successfully so far, anyway. Now Hog's in front of your screen, so you're going to shoot Hog, and then you got a very important decision to make here. What's that decision?
Do I stay shooting or do I move forward and take a different lane, I guess?
Yeah, which lane is it going to be, left or right?
Right.
You know? So you can either commit to blinking through here and then shooting and harassing and distracting and hiding and playing slow because you don't have your recall, right? But still pressuring. Or you can deepen your angle and look to apply pressure from the Moira from behind. Your choice.
Yeah.
Well, that was
I get lucky.
an
So
interesting
lucky.
choice. Yeah, I mean, you notice that, yeah, you get lucky, but you're still stuck in the middle, and so therefore you die immediately. So you have to get out of the middle. You have to get out of the trenches. Your character is not a trench character.
Yeah.
This would call for a rotation immediately through top left or through top right here. Immediately. And I think you realize that. Like, even so much so just to get into their backline.
I'm just trying to apply some pressure to get him out of here.
I understand. But that might be
That was
where...
desperate.
Yeah, as long as you're on an angle, it's fine. As long you can apply pressure as long as it's not in main. Good. Live. Live. It's a 2v1 live. Oh,
I
that's
was
so
hoping the
unfortunate.
med pack would be there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Like, at least you did force a response here. Like, you did play a lane. Again, it's just like those 2v1s, you really struggle to live in them in terms of how you're using your blinks. And I think a lot of it's because you want the kill so much, even when it's a 2v1. So, like here, for example, you can see it, right? So it's like, here it's fine. Just live. You hear Soldier. You know he's there.
That's where I'm like, oh, he's low. He's low. He's low.
It's this moment right here that screws you up.
I feel like I
because-
could get away with it. but I
Yeah,
can't.
because instead of thinking about living, you'd think about shooting, and that costs you 90 HP to the soldier. Excuse me, over 100 HP on the soldier. And so instead of living here, you run all the way back to your team and the die to a Moira Orb,
yeah.
which is really funny. Like, this is just like, this is just beautifully poetic. I just have to, like,
We must see this from every Tracer player.
10,000 combinations, right? Different timelines. And only in this timeline with this orb, which, by the way, is almost completely gone. Just bam. Beautiful. Beautiful. Not terrible in terms of the lane that you took, though.
Yeah.
Just, you got to respect post recall. You got not just post recall, but it's a 2v1, right? It's a 2v1. You got to give some respect. So, okay.
Sure.
Choose. It's funny. It feels like a lot of your choices are dictated by the enemy team and not about what you want.
It's true. It's true. Like you said, I am thinking as a problem solver. I think the rest of my team is doing a terrible job taking care of this Tracer, so I feel like I'm the one who has to push him out.
Part of the
That's-
problem with the Tracer has been the fact that there's been so much overwhelming pressure from main as well. And the reason that there's been so much overwhelming pressure from main is because there's been nobody distracting from left, right? If you go back to first fight here, let's go back. Your team wasn't really struggling with Tracer as much because there was like 2 or 3 people able to deal with the problem at any given point in time. So if you look at this fight, for example, here, Tracer's technically a threat here, but she's not really a threat, right? And look at her, she's scared, right? But the problem is then as soon as you do things like this, then this happens, then this happens, and then your backline walks up, and then the Tracer. I mean, come on, like this should have been a kill, right? That's when that's when this becomes a problem. You notice that? So it's like this is why we talk about like Overwatch is just a series of pressure points, right? It's like, are you maximizing your pressure output? Because if you're able to do that, then you're gonna feel a lot better.
So in this game, am I better off pushing the Tracer off my backline or just ignoring her entirely, hoping that my team doesn't die and going for their backline instead?
You're better off playing the position that you feel most comfortable on and that you want to play, and then maximizing your pressure from that position. That question fundamentally does not have an answer.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying.
You choose. You choose to do whatever you do well. If you choose to roll out here because you like it, then you will dominate this Tracer because this is good space for you. If you choose here and choose to, okay, let Tracer run free, but annihilate the Roadhog or off-angle the Roadhog or off-angle the backline, then yes, you will either trade backlines. There's no like checklist here of if you're running these heroes that you, no, it's fine. Your choice.
Okay, I see. Because, I mean, in a vacuum without the rest of the team, I feel like I'm better than this Tracer. And that's
Then
why I
that's
get to
fine.
that
If you
question.
prefer that, if you are the type of person that enjoys Tracer duels, and so you will always choose the lane with Tracer duels, then that's as good of a reason as any.
Sure.
But you see, but what my point is that which lane, if both lanes, let's say, have good short range off angles, that's the most important thing, short range off angles, right? But if the map geometry allows for expression here, then it really is just artistic preference. Now, there are tiny little details that matter, but they're so small that I'm not going to even bring them up. For the most part, whatever you feel like and you enjoy doing, you're allowed to do.
I do have a side question. I know that what's if I'm blanking on the what you know the technical term of it is, but I know I'm very bad at spray control. I guess like when you
Trigger
stop
discipline.
shooting if you're yes, exactly. Very bad at that. I don't know how to practice that
You
'cause
go in the
I
game
feel
and you
like no
practice
matter
it. You force yourself to
Yeah.
mid-clip pause.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Just do it. And like people go up to me and they say, I don't know how to practice blinks. Well, you just do it.
Yeah.
You think about it. You think about it and nothing else when you play. You've done a pretty good job of that so far. Like you've clearly been practicing. Do the same thing with trigger discipline.
A
Same
little
with trigger
bit, but I do find that if I stop shooting, and I've always been like a Counter-Strike player for most of my life. I hit R immediately. I don't, so it's like it defeats the purpose because I'm reloading anyways.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? It's like a
But
habit.
then that sounds like a habit that you need to work on training out of.
yeah.
The good news is that trigger discipline is so demanding. That's the bad news. But it's so demanding that you can actually practice it every fight and give it your full attention if you like to.
Yeah.
It could be the entire comp game goal is to practice trigger discipline. So if we look at this engagement here, forcing yourself to pause mid-clip and then don't reload and then maybe see if you want to continue that clip, that could be something you want to practice. Like right there, right? Like that is pretty ugly trigger discipline right there.
Yeah.
Something you could absolutely practice. And here's another thing. You ready, sneaky thing? When you do mid-clips, you'll realize that you blink more intelligently in duels because you're forcing yourself to pause. Watch Sugar Free play Tracer and pay attention to how many times that he actually utilizes blinks and trigger discipline in his duels.
Yeah. It's amazing. That's what I love watching him for because he's so crisp.
He's very crisp, right? It's funny because a lot of mid-rank players, I was talking about this yesterday with a student, feel like, oh, high-rank players don't need to utilize it because the tracking is perfect, but obviously you and I both, that's not the case.
No,
they use it
not
more
at
than
all.
they use it more than any other high-rank players do. So
Yeah. Yeah, their movements, their blinks, their trigger discipline, it's amazing.
yep. Weird how you guys killed the Roadhog without you shooting the Roadhog at all.
I have no idea.
You've taken a good you've taken a good cooldown trade here. Like, let's go back here. We've been beating you over the head with trigger discipline, which, I'm glad you brought it up. But you chose right more so out of, deciding to deal with this, but
yeah.
blinks were a little better. You contested the lane. Ana's actually kind of looking at you a little bit. Regardless, your team was able to fully focus on 4v4. You win the cooldown trade and didn't demand any resources. And so now if you want to keep going and harassing backline, you can. You can't go all the way in because you don't have recall, but you can do this, right? This is fine.
Right.
And that's it. That's what we've been missing. That not just in this one, but also in New Junk City.
Gotcha.
Sure. This is
I'm
fine.
just kind of waiting.
Yep, it's fine.
Oh, question for you. But I see a lot of videos from high-level tracers, especially in the past, where they would, when they're setting up, they'll kind of spam crouch while they're walking. And I don't know if spamming crouch hides my footstep sounds or if I need to just hold it the entire time. 'Cause obviously you move faster when you spam it, but
yeah, I actually don't know
know.
the answer to that. I used to know more about that, but honestly, there's been so many sound changes post Overwatch 2, which I knew more about the stuff in Overwatch 1. I don't know. No idea.
gotcha.
Its sound design in Overwatch is also really inconsistent sometimes, so it's better than Rivals by a long shot, but I'm honestly not too sure. I'm honestly not too sure. That might be worth testing with a friend sometime, but I'm honestly not too sure.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, sorry, I can't answer more there. This is good. I mean, you know you're being chased, so look at that. 2v1. Look at the kill feed. And freaking Roadhog went after you, and you can still go aggressive because you still have your recall. Easy. Tracer's not even showing up at all.
Yeah. Till now. Oh, good.
Run. Keep running. That's disgusting. Well done.
Thank you.
You chose this lane because you were here. You had to get out. So there was no real major thought here, and yet, shockingly, it still provides you with opportunities. Ha! No comment.
Yeah.
Now, this is the moment of truth here. You hear Roadhog ulting. You know Tracer's in your backline. Not your problem. And it sounds like we're doing a good job of that. Now, you're going to look at this and go, shoot.
Yeah.
I should have gone back. I should have dealt with that. You know, I knew it. This stupid. No, nothing you can do. You kill the Moira. That would have helped, right? Kill the Moira. That would have helped a great deal. But let me give you a little bit of analysis about what happened here. Okay, so let's look at the soldier's perspective.
I've got you in my sights.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it was just a great play.
Okay, I love support players if you haven't caught on.
Surrender to my will.
Oh my gosh. He could have slapped him. Come on, Ana.
Sharp
See,
as a
this is
pillow.
like-
Sharp as a pillow. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
They're just morons, right? Like, and that's okay. That's how we all make mistakes, right? Except for me.
Of course.
This happens. It happens. The point being is that no game is ever decided by one fight, though, right? Like, why were we at 99%? And I'm gonna point a finger at you, right? What needs to be done better? You take some notes here. I think they submitted some things for me. What needs to be done better with your decisions? What needs to be practiced?
Yeah. First and foremost, stop making decisions based on the enemy comp. Take a lane, pressure, and utilize the space that I've acquired to continue that pressure and take advantage of it, rather than trying to go across the map and chase someone who I think I need to take care of.
Yeah. I will say, when I say stop making decisions based off enemy comp, you're allowed to make decisions based off enemy comp, but understand that the priority is that it's your choice. It's for fun, whatever you want to do. So that means that there should be a feeling of responsibility. And so the reason why that responsibility is so bad is because it was making you go from point A to point B all the way across the map instead of just naturally giving what you decided on. Right.
Yeah.
So the mistake itself was playing, like I said, whack-a-mole instead of just taking what pressure was available to you.
Right.
Go ahead.
Second would be how aggressive I play post recall when I have it on cooldown. Being a little more cautious and respect, I guess the enemy a little bit more. And not to get too greedy in those times to try to finish off a kill.
Sure.
I'd say those are the two biggest things that I can think of. Blink more in duels if people are looking at my way, try to make them, miss me.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions? I think there's a good list there.
I guess there are some situations or maps where I feel, of course I'm best as Tracer, but I really feel like I should get 80% as good with a second hero, just so that if I need to switch, there's a ton of turrets and enemies that I just can't get to with Tracer very easily or get in range. And I'm trying to figure out what heroes I should focus on, or what single hero. Historically, I've been better at hitman. Like I said, I was a Counter-Strike player. I've been kind of back and forth, I think, between Cass and Soldier.
Those are fine.
Cass, the range bothers me, and the lack of escapability. So I feel like it has more impact if you get it right, but at the same time, less forgiving.
I think Cass is stronger.
Stronger?
Yeah, definitely stronger. Especially right now since his fall-off buff. You may not always feel like that, but he's definitely stronger. Soldier, my problem with Soldier with you is if it's a character that you enjoy playing, then that's the most important factor, of course, right? But Soldier is doesn't have significantly more strengths than Tracer does. A lot of his strength is still his mobility, where Tracer can shine. So, you know, he definitely has a lot better range, which definitely helps. That definitely that flexibility will help. But I think leaning even more into that with Cassidy will probably feel better. Because Cassidy has not quite as good range as Soldier, yes, but he's going to perform significantly better at those little ticks or turrets and little annoying nuisances, and it's just going to feel a lot better. So I would obviously prioritize whatever you play the most, but honestly, either Cass or Soldier is fine.
Yeah. I mean, I think I could play either. I'm just trying to figure out which one to focus a little bit more on.
Well, just
I
whatever
think
one you enjoy.
I'll lean into Cass a bit more. I wish I could learn something like Genji, but the movement is
the
so
bad
hard for me.
news. I mean, it would be a fun thing, but it wouldn't exactly cover too many of the weaknesses of Tracer, frankly, outside of verticality, right? Which is nice.
I do find Genji actually to be one of my toughest opponents on a duel. I feel like he can almost one-shot me. I don't know how. Everything's like a headshot or the dash. It's always available. I have a very hard time at least killing him in a duel. I can push him out, but killing him is very hard.
It should be equally hard for him to kill you. It's more of a skill issue for you. So the way to do with it is play right about dash distance, pepper him, and you need to immediately blink his dash. Now you don't need 110 millisecond reaction time, because you will not necessarily always be able to react to the dash itself, but you need to prevent the follow-up from the dash from hitting you. Which is what kills you. So if you take the dash damage, but you blink off to the side or behind or through or whatever, then you're fine. Your war versus Genji is always a war of attrition that you will almost always win. Genji cannot win an extended duel versus you. Should not. Anyway.
Yeah, it just feels like he always has cooldowns no matter what happens. I can pepper him a little bit here or there, but he always ends up with more cooldowns. Whether it's black or dash or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, sure, he feels the same. So
yeah.